So let's move to the next sector. Set our actions up this time to 5. This is the state of the AI empire. It produces 3 energy now, so our energy sturges still only produce 1 energy instead of 2, since we have 4 energy in our empire. And this is the state of our empire. One thing we neglected to do from last video was to turn over the event. And actually, this is a pretty nice event, but we don't really need it. At the end of this round, each player may choose to shuffle his discard pile into his draw deck. We don't really need it, so I probably wouldn't have used it. It's an optional thing anyways, but since we are starting anew with Sector 2, let's turn over the event for Sector 2 and see what happens. Event! Each player may immediately spend 1 action point to draw 3 cards. Now that's interesting. I don't know if I want to spend my action point to do that, since they're pretty precious. Although zeroing out my actions seems to be something valuable as well, so I think I might as well do it. So I'm going to spend 1 action, draw 1, 2, and we need to shuffle the deck, draw 3. So we've got the Herald, the Galactic Grunts, and the Medibot, which will be in addition to the 6 cards that we draw, since we now have an equal number of units to world, so we don't get to draw the extra card. So let's refill the world from Sector 2. We don't put it here because it's adjacent to the player. We don't put it here because it's also adjacent to the player, but we can put it here because it's not orthogonally adjacent to the player. Diagonally doesn't count. So we've got another world, which doesn't have more victory points, but it says during the energy phase you may discard 1 starfighter from your hand to generate +1 energy, which is okay. It does generate 2 energy, so already the cards are getting better. Oh, and we need to put an energy token on Osiris. So there we go. Let's see here. Ooh, we've got 3 worlds now. This new world, your star cruisers cost -1 energy to deploy, is also nice. Although I definitely still want that victory point. But more energy is nice as well. Ooh, the Trinidad. Our first capital ship out on the board. Capital ships are pretty powerful. This one also comes with 1 victory point. The Trinidad is +1 ground strength for each of your faction tokens in the Merchant Alliance. That's interesting. We do kind of want Galactic Senate, but now maybe if we draft this card, we'll want Merchant Alliance as well. That's 4 cards. Now this is our 4th world, and it's not a very interesting world. So what I'm going to do is, because this is the 4th world, I can choose to pass on it until I get a non-world card. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pass on it. Pass on it. And we've got a non-world card. This is a robot hero, which is even better. During an invasion involving the cyborg, you may spend 1 energy to add +1 ground strength to every infantry unit in that invasion. And he's a Galactic Senate hero. And 1 more card from Sector 2. It's a world. Do we want to place it? Well, we're going to pass on it and try for another non-world world. Non-world. Flame Troopers. Flame Troopers. During an invasion, you may discard up to 2 cards from your hand. Flame Troopers. Ground strength is +1 for each card you discard, which is really, really nice. Mystic. We're going to draw 6 cards now. Snow Fighter. Galactic Grunts. Galactic Grunts. Beast Rider. Snow Fighter. And Tight Formation. We have a lot of cards and a lot of possibilities. Although we did cut ourselves down to 4 actions, so we may not be able to do all the things we want to do. But that is a cost of opportunity. So there are a couple of ways we can do it. I definitely still don't want to sacrifice Osiris since the AI already has 2 victory points, and yeah, this is pretty early on for skirmishing for victory points, but the AI is ruthless in this game, so I'm not giving it an edge unless I absolutely have to. Plus Osiris has an energy token on it, so you know, that's probably not a good idea. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sacrifice Prometheus. I'm going to deploy units so that I can take Osiris and sacrifice Prometheus to the AI since it gives no victory points. So, and then hopefully, I'm kind of hoping I can do Osiris and then also take Taurus, but that might be a bit beyond the number of actions that I have left. So in order to provoke the AI to take Prometheus, not that I want to, but hey, whatever, I'm going to deploy units. So I'm going to deploy my Beast Rider, my Herald, and the Herald gives me a token on the Galactic Senate. And I'm going to also deploy my Galactic Grunts. So in total, I deployed the Beast Rider first, so that's 1 energy, 2 energy, 3 energy. With 4 energy from my worlds, and really, I should probably discard some cards to create 1 more energy. So discarding cards to create 1 more energy. And now the Beast Rider costs only 1 because I deployed her first. And then there's 1 for the Galactic Grunts and 1 for the Herald, so that's in total 3 energy spent. 1, 2, 3. And because I deployed 3 units, that's 3 actions spent. 2, 3. So I'm only going to be able to take over Osiris, I think, this turn. If it's possible at all. I think I'm going to have to take out an energy loan in order to do it. Now that I've deployed cards, the AI will now react by taking a world. It takes that world, Prometheus, away from us. And now, moving on to our action. Actually, since I have... Oh, right. Something I forgot. I need to place a token on the Galactic Senate for playing the Herald since it has a Galactic Senate icon on it. I've got an even better idea because I have 1, 2, 3, 4 fleet strength and 1, 2, 3 ground strength. I can take Taurus. Prince Aaron does have a special ability in that he can add +2 fleet strength to one of my starfighter, star cruisers, or capital ships during an invasion involving him. So that will be useful because with him at 1 fleet strength and the Herald at another fleet strength, adding 2 more to the Herald's fleet strength because the Herald is a starfighter, we will be able to create 4 fleet strength to take over the world, and we play a grunt. We played a grunt, so we can have the grunt provide the ground strength to take over this world. With that in mind, let's spend 1 energy to move one space. So we move here, and now we need to spend one energy and one action in order to take the world. So we're spending one action and one energy. We have one grunt to provide the one fleet strength. We have the herald providing the one fleet strength. We have Prince Aaron providing one fleet strength, but because the herald is a starfighter and Aaron is in this invasion, we'll add +2 fleet strength to the herald. So we have 1 + 3 is 4 fleet strength. So we've taken this world. We discard the cards involved in the invasion. We take the world and we garrison the galactic grunts on it to thin out our deck. I think it does mean we're going to have to buy some units soon though. And because we invaded that world, we move from here to here for free. And we don't have any voluntary decision about that. We just are pulled into that space. So whenever you interact with a card and draft it or invade it, you are pulled into that space where that card was, which can be beneficial and sometimes is annoying. But in this case, it sets us up next turn for either drafting the Trinidad or taking over Osiris as we originally planned to ages ago. Oh, and the AI reacts to us having invaded this world by trying to find a tactics card. It doesn't, so it needs to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is actually pretty bad. Because it has no space, because it has no space to move to within 5 spaces, and it has no card to take. Oh wait, it does have a card to take. It takes Osiris from us because there's no tactics card available. So, but there is a card with an energy token on it, so it takes Osiris. It tallies up its 1 energy for the energy token, and it takes Osiris into its empire. So here we've got the energy token, and we tally it up on the AI board. So again, we move the token, round token, to indicate which round it is, to the next round, round 4. The current event, it acts as if it was played again, so we may choose to spend 1 action point to draw 3 cards. I think we'll do it again. So we were at 5 actions, and we'll spend 1 action to draw 3 cards. Not the most exciting draw in the world, but we did get an energy surge in the hand. And the AI is definitely producing more energy than we are now, so this will actually generate 2 energy. We are now in the galactic phase. We place energy tokens on the cards that are remaining. And we refill the universe with 3 more cards. The first empty space clockwise from the AI that's not adjacent to the player is this space. So let's see what we get. We get a world, Marduk. It is worth 2 victory points. We get Onyx 6, and we get Garyon. Whenever you spend a faction token in the Mystic Brotherhood to draw 3 cards, you may also peek at another player's hand. That's not very useful to us, so we'll probably just ignore it. It's not worth VPs anyways. So we need to start gaining some VPs, like, quite seriously. Let's consider our options. Oh, and first we need to draw 6 cards. 1, 2, 3. Shuffle up our deck. And we've got 9 cards. We've got more worlds. We've got 3 worlds and 2 units, so we draw another card, so we've got 11 cards in hand. So we should be able to do things. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 energy from our worlds. We played 2 energy surges. And now we have 4 more energy. So we've got 10 energy, 4 actions. We better spend all of our actions. We better spend all of our actions because I don't think we're going to spend all of our energy. I usually like to go energy heavy, although that has resulted in very bad things happening with respect to the AI. But let's go ahead and see what happens. I have a plan. It involves much shopping and not much deploying because I do not want the AI to get its hands on Marduk. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move 1 space over because I want the Promethean cyborg instead of the Trinidad. So I'm going to move 1 space over, and that will cost me 1 energy. 1 energy. And I'm going to pay 3 to draft the Promethean cyborg, and I'll get 1 energy back, so that's really just 2 energy that I spend for it. That's 1, 2, 3, plus an energy token brings me back up 1, and it costs me 1 action to do the draft. Then we take the Promethean cyborg, we move into its space, we put this into our discard pile, and now the AI reacts by drafting a unit. So it goes here, it drafts this unit, drafts the Trinidad, and it collects an energy token, which will tally up on its board here. Things are looking grim for us. I'm going to do even more shopping. So I'm going to grab this Flame Troopers. It has an energy token on it, so that's effectively 1 energy to draft it. So that's 2 energy plus the token. That's 1 energy back, and that took 1 action to do. So now I move 1 space forwards and take the card, dropping it into my discard pile. And the AI, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the AI needs to move. The AI can't find a unit, and it can't find a card with a token on it, so it just needs to move 1 space. And unfortunately, well, yeah, still unfortunately, we are in trouble because if we put down any units, it's just going to take Marduk away from us. So let's consider whether we can invade Marduk. We can't invade Marduk because we only have 2 fleet strength and we only have 2 ground strength. Oh, actually, we can! Let me show you how we can take Marduk. We have retired Flying Ace, who gets a +3 fleet strength boost by removing tokens from the Galactic Senate, and ta-da, we've got a token in the Galactic Senate. Which brings to mind that the AI should have been getting tokens as well, so let's cover what the AI tokens should have been gotten. So the AI has gotten the Trinidad, the missile cruiser, so these are both Merchant Alliance tokens, Merchant Alliance icons, so it should have gotten 2 tokens for gaining these cards. Now remember, the AI gains order tokens on gaining cards. We gain order tokens on deploying cards only. We don't get them when gaining the card. Let's remove a token from the Galactic Senate to give our retired Flying Ace +3 for 5 fleet strength. So our retired Flying Ace has 3 + 2 is 5 fleet strength. The Beast Rider has 2 ground strength. We definitely overtake Marduk and add it to our collection of worlds. Now we need to spend 1 action to invade, 1 energy to invade, and we move up into that location. Now the AI is going to react by moving trying to take a tactics card. There's no tactics cards available. There's no cards with energy tokens available. So it's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It can move 1 space or 5 spaces. So I'm inclined to let it move here because I wanted to have like more free space, possibly. Also, 1, 2, 3, 4. That will allow some cards to land near me, nearish me. So let's do that. On the other hand, I could have it move here. That would be 1 space. And the newest card would start here, and it'd be chasing after me. So actually, let's go with that and see what happens. Oh, and I discard these 2 cards. I don't want to garrison either of them because they're pretty darn good cards. Moving to the discard phase, we need to decide which card to keep. So I kind of like the Sentinel, but I think I'm going to stick with the Herald because I feel we need tokens in the Galactic Senate. So we're going to discard the rest of these and hang on to the Herald.